Here is the pattern for my crocheted cinnamon roll kit. If you're not familiar, this is a sweet little DIY toy where kids or any cinnamon roll lover in your life can make a little cinnamon roll, and it includes a reversible frosting. So you got sprinkly side and non-sprinkly side. So let's get to the tools. For the yarn, I'm going to be using a brown and tan to make the cinnamon roll. These are Big Twist. This is chocolate brown and this is camel. Joanne, I'm still waiting for your call. For the icing on top, I am using this thicker weight cream colored yarn, but you could also use the Big Twist cream. It just might make a slightly thinner frosting. Then you're gonna need a needle, scissors. We have some scrap yarn to count our rows with, and then 4 hooks. Yes, my hooks are kept in a cake-shaped hook holder. This is a 3.75 millimeter for the actual cinnamon rolls, and then because I'm using the heavier weight yarn for the frosting icing, for that one I used a 5 millimeter hook. And last but not least, you're gonna need whatever assorted yarns you wanna use for your sprinkles. I made these holiday cinnamon rolls, but obviously you could do someone's favorite color or rainbow or whatever color sprinkles your journey takes you on. So we are going to start with chaining 71 chains in our camel or tan colored yarn. And then you're gonna do 7 rows of single crochet. So we have done 7 rows of single crochets. So now we're gonna give ourselves a nice long tail, and then we are going to cut. And now we're gonna do the exact same thing with the chocolate colored yarn. We're going to chain 71 and do 7 rows of single crochets to get a strip that's the exact same size as the tan strip. So we have made both of our little long rectangle strips, and now we're going to sew them together, starting here and working our way all the way around, leaving this end open so we can flip them inside out. I like to use the camel colored yarn to sew them because I do want the camel to be slightly more dominant color than the chocolate, because that's the filling, and I figure there's a little bit more dough than there is filling in a cinnamon roll. So I sewed it all the way around, leaving this end open, and now keeping my working yarn and needle here, we're gonna flip this inside out and then sew it closed. And you just gotta kind of slowly work it through. So we've turned it inside out. I'm just gonna give it a light press with my hands to flatten it, though it'll flatten as you continue to roll it up when it's actually played with. And now I'm going to make sure all of my ends are tucked in, and we're just gonna sew this end closed in the same way we sewed the other parts closed. To keep the cinnamon roll closed, I use snaps. I find that Velcro can wear out really quickly on a toy, so I went the snap route. So you're going to take the side with the piston, the male sided snap, and you're gonna do that right at the very edge on the chocolate inside. And then once you've done that, roll your cinnamon roll up so you know exactly where to lay the other side, and sew that one on. And good news is you have a lot of wiggle room, so you don't have to get it too perfectly. And then your cinnamon roll will snap closed and stay closed. And now we're gonna work on our little icing frosting circle. As I said, I used the bulkier weight yarn for this because I wanted a nice thick frosting layer, but this is the cream colored in this same Big Twist yarn, and you could absolutely use this one. You just would have to create a few extra rows to get the same circumference to go around the cinnamon roll. We're going to start by doing a magic loop, magic circle. We're going to put 5 chains into it. Now you're going to put 2 single crochets into each of these, and you'll have a total of 10 stitches at the end. And this is where I'm going to employ my little piece of yarn to keep track of my rows. I'm just going to slip it in there. And we are going to do, for this next row, we're going to do increases every other stitch. So this will be a single crochet, and in the next we're going to do 2 single crochets, and repeat that all the way around. So we are up to 15 stitches. Now we're gonna flip our little row marker, and we are going to do 2 single crochets and then a double. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, and do that all the way around. So now you're up to 20 stitches, so flip your row counter again, and for this row you're just going to do single crochets all the way around with no increases. So now you're going to leave a nice long tail on this. You want it to be at least as long as it goes around your little frosting circle here. So this is one side of our frosting icing, and now we are going to do this again to create the other side. So I finished my second one, and you don't need to make the tail as long as this one, because really all you're going to use this tail for is just to tuck and weave it in to keep the whole frosting secure. And now this is our opportunity to add our sprinkles in. These are just scraps from a sweater project that I'm working on. So feel free to use scraps from whatever sweater or blanket you're making. It's a good way to use those up. So I just have these little lengths of yarn, and I find the best way is just to use your hook to pull them through some of the holes in your crochet. So I'm gonna pull this one through here. So I'll just find a random direction and pull this through here, and I'll knot this in the back. And I'm gonna make these all over the top here. So we have put all of our sprinkles in, and now I'm just gonna cut these little scraps off so it sews up better. And then these scraps, what you can do with these and any other extra scraps you have is turn them into your sprinkle container. This is just an old, literally sprinkle container. I put some beads in there too, so that it gives good sprinkle noises, and it's got scraps, and then you can like actually apply the sprinkles to the cinnamon roll. So now we're just going to sew these two up alongside the edges, making sure that we tuck in all of our ends as we go. And there you have your little reversible pad of frosting or icing. Sprinkles on one side, plain on the other. You need to do that 6 more times and you have this beautiful sweet treat toy to enjoy. Let me know if you guys want more of these baked good crochet items in the future.